Hello, it is a day in March. It's a Thursday. It's the first Thursday in March, I think. Maybe. No, it's not. It's March 8th, because last Thursday was March 1st. I got this. I got the world. I know how this works. This week is... oh, fuck. My 13th? 14th. 13th. Oh, it's one of my weeks on T. I will put it in the title, so by the time you're watching this, you'll already know what week it is, and I won't, and you've already got one up on me. Look at that. And I just had my 9th shot, so, feeling pretty good. Oh, look at that. Battery's gonna die. So yeah, in terms of transition stuff, I don't really have a lot to say. I don't know. I feel like every week I make this video, and I'm like, hey, this is the stuff that's changed, and it's just like, this is my voice, oh look, it's changed, and my face shape has kind of changed, excuse me, and yeah, all this other stuff. Basically, the only thing that's changed this week is I fill out this shirt. I noticed that I fill out this shirt well enough that I can wear it, because before it was just way too large for me to wear it. But a lot of that is gaining muscle, and a lot of that is getting fat. So that's the other thing, I've just gained a lot of weight. So I need to start losing that eventually. I don't know what is going on with my hair. I look like I could be on Dawson's Creek. Like, oh, I don't know if I ranted about my haircut in my last video. I think I just said I got one, which was obvious. Unless I hadn't had a haircut by that point. In which case, I got a haircut. But I feel like I had, because that was a long time ago. Anyways, the point is, when I get my hair cut, I go to the same place every time, and there's this one chick who cuts my hair. And she wasn't there this time. And the only reason that's a big deal to me is because I'm awful at describing what I want, and she knows, because she cuts my hair. And so I'm like, just do what you did last time, and she does it, and no fuss, it's fine, done, whatever, and I know I'm gonna like it because it's the same thing I get every time. So, new girl cuts my hair. She doesn't do a bad job. She styles it really cool, but despite me saying repeatedly that I usually have my hair really short, I just let it grow out. And I get really lazy, and that's why I go get a cut once every, 3 months. She had the attitude that every hairdresser ever has with someone whose hair they're cutting for the first time, which is, ooh, you want short hair, but you have long hair, so clearly you don't want really short hair, because you have long hair. And it's this weird thinking, and I guess I get it, but despite me saying, oh yeah, go shorter, she'd cut like a millimeter off every time. So I was like, fuck it, this is fine. It looked good. I've yet to be able to style it the way she styled it that day, and it's already started to grow out. So what she did was she trimmed down the sides the way that to about the length I always get them cut, but she didn't take anything off the top. So it's this weird crop top of hair, where it's completely short right here, but you can even see where the seam of long 90s hair that comes over it is. It was the perfect haircut if I wanted frosted tips. So, whatever. I don't hate it. It looks fine right now. It's just, I'm going to hate it in a week when it grows out really fast, because it's going to grow out so fast. So, anyways, I'm not a fan of it right now, because I do look like a 90s character, but whatever. So yeah, that's my rant about my hair. So I've been out of touch with the world lately because I'm really stressed from school. For anyone who's not familiar with what a research exam is, let me enlighten you, because I had one on Tuesday. It's basically when your teacher says, here's a list of questions. Now, go write a term paper. And you're like, okay, that's cool, I can do that. You've researched the shit out of your topic, and you come up with this great term paper. But instead of actually passing in your term paper, you're like, oh look, it's a term paper, done. She decides that, okay, and I'm making it sound like this was a last minute change, but I was informed of what it was from the beginning, but this is basically the mental processes. I will write a term paper, but then on the day that it's due, or the day you do it, you show up, you hand in your bibliography, and then you sit down, and in 60 minutes, you write out your term paper from memory. So, it's the stupidest concept I have ever heard, and yeah, I'm pretty sure I failed, so... and it's a third-year course, so the writing level is already, it's pretty much beyond what I'm capable of. Not capable of, but definitely what I'm used to. I'm a first-year student, so I'm not used to writing at the level that would be expected of me in that course. And I am pretty sure I failed. And to make matters worse, she's doing a mandatory tutorial where we all have to go, and she goes through each and every paper, one by one, singling out everything that's wrong with it. She won't say names, but everyone can figure out who did what. So, brutal. Not looking forward to that. And I got a term paper due tomorrow, and I've got 2 due in like a week or 2, and I got finals in a month, which is blowing my mind. I can't believe the semester is almost over. I don't even, like, I just don't even. It doesn't even feel like the semester really started yet, like, and because I'm a masochist, I think I'm going to take a couple of courses, by distance this summer, just to keep up my schooling, but only because there's 2 philosophy courses I want to take, media ethics and the philosophy of film, and, I might take intro to women's studies. Or I might just wait until the semester starts and take that in a classroom, because that's where you meet the ladies. No, it's not. I'm kidding. But yeah, I think I'm taking Intro to Women's Studies, which they are actually changing to Gender Studies, but it's still going to be the same material, so I don't see what the point of that is. So yeah, that's basically a little bit about my school life. I've been really out of touch with the world because I've been so stressed out, and I've been, which is actually played a lot into the one thing I was going to say about tea, which is I still haven't really noticed a huge difference emotionally from switching from fortnightly shots to weekly shots. But again, I don't know if that's the hormones or because there's a lot of external factors going on. The past week or 2 has been really, really hectic on me. I've had a lot of school stress and a lot of issues with my personal relationships and all this shit. So I really don't know what's the catalyst for how I feel, or if there's all this bunch of causes, and so I'm giving it more time. Ideally, I can just hope for things to get better with weekly shots. You know, worst comes to worst, I will go back to my shrink now in June and talk to her and be like, hey, I haven't been feeling the best, like, what do you suggest, kind of thing. So my only fear with that is that if she thinks that I'm depressed or something, she'll take me out tea, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So, yeah, school, life, everything's kind of right now, but whatever. It's getting warm here, so that's kind of actually making me feel a bit better. But yeah, this video is getting kind of long. I only had one more thing I wanted to say, actually, because I'm in this whole, like, undergrad art student mode where I'm, like, so much information is being presented to me at the same time. I'm getting, like, I'm just eating up all this information. And it's really interesting that how everything kind of connects together, even though it has no bearing on anything. But, so all of this, like, learning about social movements, and this, one of my courses is, the social history of popular music in America since 1950, which is my favorite course. It's actually so awesome. And, the basics of this course is just, we look at popular music from about the 30s, 40s on to the 80s, and how rock and roll, the trend of rock and roll came to be. But more than just looking at the music itself, we also kind of delve into the social aspects of it. So like the civil rights movement, the protests in Vietnam, and like all this stuff. So it's really cool to see how music kind of evolved with that and because of that, and like all this other stuff. So it's actually the most fascinating course. So I'm really into like civil rights and stuff. I have not had a huge chance to actively be activisty in my community. I'm from a very small place. Probably expectedly, my biggest interest in civil rights stuff would be the gay rights movement. And there has not been a huge opportunity for me to, branch out and help out with anything. So, and I've been really busy with school and my other priorities to actually start doing anything. So I'm looking into some clubs at school that are kind of activisty and stuff like that right now. But in terms of research and stuff, I've been in the library all the time, and when I'm not researching, when I get too overwhelmed with researching stuff for school, I just start pulling books off shelves and looking at issues like that. And so I found a couple of links actually recently. One, I'll try to post it in the crotch bar below, but I'm not sure if it will actually, I'm not sure if you'll actually be able to link it because I found it on my school's library website. But it's about, it's a study done of bullying towards LGBT and students and children of LGBT parents in Canadian schools. And like, you know, it has some solutions to how the administration can go about trying to prevent it and help, you know. And it's actually really enlightening to how bad it is, because, I mean, you think, I know, being Canadian and having had, I'll make a video about bullying if it doesn't come up in one of the topics, at some point, because it is a really big issue, because I never thought of myself as bullied, and so I thought about it recently, and I really was, but I never had a horrible, horrible experience with bullying. But it's enlightening to see how bad it is in Canada, because you think about it, like, Canadians, oh, they're not that bad, and all this stuff doesn't happen here, but it really does. And it was really depressing, and of course trans kids were miles above the rest in depressing statistics. But yeah, I will post a link down here. I won't try to pull any of the statistics out of my ass right now, because I really can't remember them. And the only other thing that I wanted to say was I was reading an article, or a chapter of a book on sibling development today, when I was in the library just dicking around. And they were talking about how, the whole book was just talking about how siblings help each other throughout development. And there's a chapter on LGBT, like straight siblings with LGBT siblings, like, you know what I mean? And there was like a section on lesbians, bisexuals, gay men, and transgender people. And my first problem, I had a big problem immediately with the wording of everything. Like, it was really just offensively worded, with transgender women referring to trans guys and things like that. It was kind of confusingly worded and really offensively worded. I personally, and this is just my own personal thing, I don't like it when people refer to FTMs as trans women, or like transgender women instead of trans, like, because trans women are, you know, but because I've never been a girl or a woman in my entire life. The closest I've been is you could categorize me as female, but no. So if you're going to use words like that, you really have to segregate gender and sex. So anyways, that's not what I was getting at. The one interesting thing that I found in this whole chapter was they're talking about transgender siblings and their heterosexual other sibling. Trans kids and they're all adult siblings. I'm sorry, I'm so confusing. So like these trans people and their heterosexual siblings. And consistently, the one consistent fact, well, there's trans people tend to be less religious than their heterosexual siblings, which to me was not surprising. Trans people tend to be less connected to their families. They tend to be a lot more distant towards their families than their heterosexual siblings. And the one that I found really interesting is trans people tend to have a much higher level of education than their heterosexual siblings. So they'll go on to have, you know, various degrees and various levels of post-secondary in many cases where their heterosexual siblings will not. And yet they still get paid on this pay scale is still the same. So trans people are either, so the study was saying that trans people are either typically unemployed or highly underpaid for the work that they're doing compared to their heterosexual siblings, or cisgendered, or depending on what wording they were using. They were using heterosexual for most of it. I was like, well, that has nothing to do with it. But, yeah. So I found that really interesting that trans people tend to have higher levels of education. Anyways, this is getting really long. I'm really sorry. That's my little rant about things. I'm going to try to post that link in the bottom. I'm going to speed this up because I gotta go. But, oh, one other thing. I've got a random influx of subscribers, followers, whatever we have on YouTube, lately, which wasn't that much. I only have a couple. I'm not, like, trying to brag or anything like that. The only reason I bring this up is because there's a couple, like, one or two guys on there who started following me who I watch. I don't subscribe to people because I always forget, and I just go check their channels. But a couple of people subscribe to me who I watch regularly, and I thought that was so cool, and I've been meaning to shoot out a couple messages, but I haven't had the time, and I don't have the internet access. So if I do, I do. If I don't, I don't. But yeah, thanks so much to, like, those guys. I think it's so cool, and, like, I really look up to a lot of people on YouTube that I don't even realize they're, like, my age and all this stuff, but there's a couple guys that I really look up to, and a few of them follow me now, so that's kind of cool. So thanks for that. Anyways, I'm gonna go. This is hella long. I'm really sorry. If you stuck it out to the end, kudos to you. You're a good person, or you have nothing better to do with your time. So, alright, I'll see you guys next week.